Hi there, welcome to another episode of the Paint Party live stream. So great to be with you in the studio this evening. This live stream is my Learn to Paint journey. A few years ago, I started teaching myself to paint, and so I meet with you every Monday evening here on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, different platforms. You can participate in the live stream through the comments wherever you watch this, so feel free to ask questions or make comments. I love to engage with you as we go throughout the evening. Every week I usually start a new painting. However, at the beginning of this year, I'm trying to wrap up some of the paintings that I have sitting around. I finished several this week and worked on one that we had started previously last week, so we're going to continue that with the painting that's here behind me on the easel. So let's jump in and let me get this set up. All right. I'm going to flip you all over to this camera here so I can get this one set up to, actually I'm going to put on the apron first so I don't make a mess because I have a habit. So we will get this all set up and then you should be able to see my canvas. I hope you all had a great week. Plug in the phone and we will get started. First off though, I want to pull up the old picture of, I need to get my find my reference photo. I don't know why I am not finding it. That is frustrating. Has all these, they're not in the order I would like. I'm just scrolling through tons of icons to try to find them, but it's what I get for not planning ahead. Welcome to those of you popping in. So glad to have you. Glad to have you. I am looking for reference photos for this evening because I didn't get it lined up ahead. So let me actually look at, there's one. I don't know why it's not on this desktop, but we will bring it over here. Nope, that's not what we want to do. We want to go to there. Then we want to bring this over. Sorry, I'm adjusting it on the fly here. All right, hopefully that'll work. You can participate in the live stream wherever you're watching through the comments on whatever platform you are on. So feel free to say hello. All right, we're gonna hopefully finish up some of the work on this painting here. All right, good deal. We have a reference photo and you have a view of my canvas, so I think we are good. y'all are quiet tonight. Sorry about that. All right. Let us get into it. Do. Yeah, I have all these paintings that I've started and never have been able to get them all done. So I really want to go ahead and get them taken care of. A few more people popping in. So glad to have you. Thank you for joining us. Feel free to ask questions as we go through the evening, or make comments if you'd like. I think I need to get some of this out here. Some of you may have seen on Instagram, excuse me, the work I've been doing this week, or last week, I guess. But we finished a few paintings last week. I'll show you some of those at the end. So this one has been a challenge just because of the architectural part of the cathedral. This statue of this woman, it's just had all kinds of layers and mess. So what I want to do first is I think I want to fix any problems I have with the cathedral first, and then come back in and do the sky and clouds and such, reestablishing them. I think that's where we're going to start. So let's see. I think it's pretty good, except some of the like, I want better lines with this work, so I'm going to take a little bit of the blue and the brown and mix up kind of a gray here. I really want to get to the point where we're finishing, so I want to do as much finished work as possible, if that makes sense. There. And this street we put here Let's just make that really obvious. And now that we're at this stage, we'll kind of just make up some of this. All right, now let me see if I can do some. Here's another. Now I'm going to try to do. Just try to make these clear what they are. Trying at least. Then I will do some, these are kind of some red, dark red. Some sort of spiky plant. So we'll just put those there. That'll help to delineate what is actually happening there. There are some plants. Boop, boop, boo. Then here, they're against the dark side already, but there we go. Kind of let us know that that's what's going on. If that makes sense, then we're going to take some of this in here. Give just a sense of there's some shadow side to this. All right, now this is really, I'm just trying to get as precise as I can with these edges, because that will read a lot more as far as the structure of the place will read a lot better if it's not a wobbly line. So we'll just get some of these lines as even as possible. At the same time, it's not going to hurt us to we'll adjust the color warmly as we go. Because I do want it a little, it ended up a little darker than I wanted, a little more red. I do want it more gold, like the sun is shining off it, because that's how it was. And over here, that really clear. I'm mumbling to myself, don't mind me. And then when we come in with the sky, we should be able to carve all of this really well, hopefully. Okay. This one is like this. I have found that's the key for me for because I paint like freehand. I mean, I draw freehand on my building, you know, or anything I'm painting. I kind of do it freestyle without drawing the image out ahead of time. And so being able to go back and do all these, kind of try to give the illusion of details and precision, takes a few layers. Because it's a process. It is a process for sure. Get it to look right and to okay, let's see if we can get it precise enough to do around this door, because we want it really thin. There we go. There we go. There we go. Hey Bob G, thanks for popping in. Have you been able to get off the mountain yet, or off the hill? I really hope so. It's crazy, I know. All right, I think it's coming together. Now the challenge is going to be these guys up here. So I want to bring this in a little bit, so I'm going to have to try to see. All right. Okay, now that we have these lines pretty good, let me just step back and take a look, and then we'll want to come in with pretty fine brush. Yeah. The only part that looks weird is this right here and this right here. So let me go, actually, I'm going to bring this a little further out. And put the white line out here, and then we should be better aligned to support this. And then I need to come a little bit out here, a little further here, and a little bit more here. Which I think I can do because this is supposed to be kind of a yellow color, so let's see if we can do that. Let's try to, it needs to be lighter, but it definitely needs to be more yellow. That will help us. There. If we can lighten that up. Then over here we need the same thing. Let's see if that works then. Now, let us see if we can use another I'm going to see if this brush will work, a little brush. First report, 14 inches, not a single car on this last Thursday night. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. We got about, I think, 14, 15 inches. So you guys are right in line with us, which is terrifying because that's crazy. Y'all are not prepared for that at all. Nope, this is not going to work. So I need to see if I can do script liner 1. How to use my 0 liner. Oh, I wonder if this new one will work. Let me just try. Oh, it breaks down right away, but we shall see. I'm going to load it up with a lot of paint. Maybe this will be because we need coverage. So we'll start to put in these details. So now we want to reestablish our line there. We want this to just pop now. There we go. Now it'll start to pop out, but I'm going to have to get this guy to cover up some of those lines we made before. So now that seems to work. So we're going to keep doing that. I'm just mixing white with a little bit of this yellow red that I've mixed over here. This. I want to be precise, but not too quick. Because I want the paint line to be even and effective. So we're going to need to bring this out a little bit. That. And we'll cut in the sky around there. Hopefully it won't look too wonky once we get done. Okay. Now we have this that needs to come out here. It's kind of like a column. There. Hopefully that'll work. Okay. Now, okay. I keep just saying that, sorry. We need to think. Ooh, I think we're getting there. Okay. Yep. Now, do the same thing we did over there. finally feel like I'm getting the hang of working with oil paints and getting to know what I can and can't do. But it's taken a full year for sure. And I'm still, I'm not like I know perfectly, but especially like this, working with the wet on wet, I have a much better feel for how I can try to get what I want out of these Hola, Ana. Yep, es la iglesia en Mayagüez. Wow, cool. Gracias por compartir esta historia. Oh, okay. Well, this is good. So that is my cousin Anna, and it is good that somebody who recognizes the place. That's the challenge. I don't want it to be, or it can't be necessarily a perfect duplication of the church, but I want it to be close enough that if somebody sees it, they recognize it and say, hey, that's that church in Mayagüez, which it is. It is absolutely the church in Mayagüez, in the Plaza. So if you ever get a chance to get there, it's a beautiful, peaceful area. Okay, let me step back. I think it is good from a distance, but I think we just need a little, maybe beef it up just a tad on this side. One more swath. There we go. I think that's good. Yeah. And then we can continue with the So, and then I want to take this and essentially color in that old line to hide that. So that's more uniform with this. And I want to little by little, we're always constantly carving. Whoops. Adjusting to make it better. There. And I want to trim around the windows. only place I didn't fix the trim was this window, so let's do that. There. Okay, I feel like the church is pretty good. Oops. Okay. I have to just be patient. Okay, now the church looks pretty good. I'm going to step back, take another look. Hey there, Catherine. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you stopping by. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is start to do the sides and the sky to carve in what we want again. But I think going back to this, I want to take this a little bit out, a little bit further, like that. I think this one looks good. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for joining me. So good to have you. Okay. Ooh. Can you tell me more about what you are painting? Yes, I can. This scene is the Plaza in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. It is the church there on the plaza. It is also, incidentally, the town where my mother was born. And so it has special meaning to me. But I was there in an evening when it just was some beautiful sunlight and beautiful clouds, and snapped the photo and wanted to do a painting of it. So I've been working these paintings. Catherine and I do every Monday. I do a live stream, and so now at the beginning of the year I'm clearing out some of the paintings I've worked on before, and this is one of those that I had done on a previous live stream, but it was mostly kind of underpainting, a little modeling, and it needed some work. So at the end of the live stream, I'll show you 3 or 4 other paintings that I worked on. I worked on one last week. We did the same thing. I have about now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 oil paintings, 8 including this one, that were unfinished, that I'm trying to get finished. And then I worked on another one last weekend, and I finished 1, 2, 3, 4, and touched up an acrylic painting. So 5 this week. So yes, it was dry when I started. That is correct. Yes. I'm doing another layer, just basically refining some of the form. I've spent the last hour just getting this architecturally as tight as possible, meaning the lines, mostly just line work. And now we're going to come into the bushes and the sky, which all of this is dry. The church is not, so we're going to come in and try to carve out the additional sides of the church so that we get it even more precise, because that's what's going to give that illusion of realism more, is I have found is getting lines, especially in an architectural situation where you're doing a building or something that is man-made. You really got to have your lines on point. with a tree or a ocean wave or something, you can kind of fudge it a little bit because obviously it's a tree and it will still read. But if you mess up lines on a building, it's very clear. And then if you do that, you often have to wait until it kind of dries and you can put another layer on, typically. At least for me, at my level. I don't know if she wants it. There are several I've done from, I did a trip to Puerto Rico this fall, and there are several I've done. She has seen many of them because she often dials into the live stream. So I may frame it and give it to her though. But there may be another painting that she would like more, so I may give her a choice. But it is kind of special. That was one special part of this trip that I took. I was down in Miami for work, which is close, relatively close. Florida is relatively close to Puerto Rico. So I decided to fly over there. Had not been back in 30 plus years. 31 years, I guess. So it was good as an adult to go back and to connect to some of these places and to that part of my heritage in a way that was more meaningful perhaps than when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, it was the first time I'd ever seen the ocean, first time I'd ever flown. And so that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to go back to the beach, and I wanted to hang out at the ocean, not look at cool things from my mother's history or family history. So this was a special trip. And now you know, as Paul Harvey said, the rest of the story. Ooh, good question. It was actually the island it was different to me because of the things I was interested in and the things that I was looking for from the trip were new. The island definitely has changed in the last 30 years. A lot more gentrification from what it was very westernized when I was there in the 90s, but there's been a lot more gentrification. And I was talking to a young woman there in San Juan, and we were talking because she spoke very, very good English, and she said she had learned, or actually it was a guy on a tour guide we went into the rainforest, and he spoke really good English. And I asked him, because he said none of his family spoke English, and I said, how did you learn? It was colloquial English, he had an accent, but the colloquial English was really good. And I said, how did you, if none of your family speaks? And he says, well, I learned it from the Disney Channel. And I realized there's a whole generation of young kids, but kids younger than me who have grown up with streaming services and a lot of English content in that, even if their parents were not solid English speakers. And so it's really interesting. And I went all over the whole island. I speak enough Spanish to carry a conversation, and I never had, except for one place, I never really had to use Spanish. And that was actually the cemetery where my grandfather's buried. There were just some workers there that I asked to help me find the gravesite, and so that conversation was in Spanish, but otherwise it was very, very westernized for sure. And that's something I know Bad Bunny's been commenting a lot musically and in the culture about the challenges between the United States and Puerto Rico. So it is definitely a checkered, interesting history, but I'm grateful that I got to explore a little bit of the heritage and see some family landmarks and such. So it was a cool trip. Yes, San Juan, Puerto Rico. I landed in San Juan, the capital. Mayagüez, this town is on the east or west end of Puerto Rico. So I landed in San Juan and then drove over to see family and explore a little bit. So, all right. Now I feel like we have good lines on these trees against the church. Now we can bring in the sky. So let's do that a little bit before we wrap up this evening. Hey, my friend. Thanks so much for popping in, Zach. It's great to see you. I hope you're well. Oh my goodness, Catherine. Yes, I do have recommendations. Let's see. San Juan, Old San Juan, I recommend. Ocean Park is a beautiful area to stay in. Catherine, are you in the United States or where are you? But Ocean Park is nice. There's walkable beaches. There's a big stretch of restaurants, bars, amenities, cafes. So Ocean Park's a great space, and it's about equidistant between Old San Juan and the airport. So it is easy Uber either direction. And yeah, I would, if you rent a car, you can drive down into Old San Juan and just park in a parking garage. But I'm a walker. Walking around, November's a great time to go. I'm in the US at the moment. Perfect. So yeah, November's a great time. They use US dollars. You won't have any problem. If you don't speak Spanish, you should be fine getting along. And so it makes it real easy. But Old San Juan is great. It's very walkable. If you are at all active, you can walk around. I actually walked from El Morro, which is the way out on the point. It's one of the old fortresses, and then down to San Cristobal, which is a mile or two up the coast. One tip, if you are touring El Morro and San Cristobal, the entrance fee, I think it's $10 gets you into both sites. And I think it lasts a day or maybe two, so you can tour both sites. You could easily do them. I did them both in a couple of hours. But yeah, Old San Juan, if you wander around, look at just all the picturesque spots. There is an avenue called the Avenue of the Paraguas, or Umbrella Avenue, It was under construction when I was there, but it should be done, where they have umbrellas hanging over the avenue. And at the end of that is the historic governor's residence. It's the oldest residence, I believe, in the U.S. that's a governor's residence that's still lived in. I think it's from the 15 or 1600s, so that's cool. Walking down to the waterfront and kind of along the old wall. So there's a lot of beautiful places along the old city walls. I felt safe all the time. I was there during the daytime. I walked a little bit at night, but I never felt unsafe. And yeah, I can't. On the corner, so if you like sweets, on the corner of, it's called Fortaleza Avenue, that's that umbrella avenue, there is a gelato shop that is delightful. So that's a great place. If there's a warmer day, you can stop and get gelato. But yes, please enjoy the island. It is not called the Island of Enchantment for nothing. The people are generous, and yeah, it's just it's a special place. And I know I'm biased, but it is a special, special place. I'm excited for you. The beaches are breathtaking. And if you have time to travel the island, the west coast area is beautiful. Cabo Rojo, Aguadilla, Mayagüez, Rincon are all beautiful areas right along the coast. You can easily drive up over the mountains down to the southern part, which is, it just went out of my head. But there's a town there that's beautiful as well, with a historic firehouse that's, my goodness, can't believe I lost that. Anyway, if you get to explore, going up into the mountains is beautiful as well, depending if you have transportation. And you can always get back to, I think the furthest space is, like if you go to the other side of the island, it's maybe 2.5 hours. So the furthest, you can always get back to San Juan pretty easily. If you like to explore, a tour into the rainforest was really cool. And then I did a kayak tour of the Phosphorescent Bay. I do recommend, if you're going to do Phosphorescent Bay, one of the phosphorescent bays, you go on a new moon, because we went on a full-ish moon and it was too bright to see anything or to really enjoy. So if you do that, make sure, if you can, do around a full moon or a new moon where there's not a moon, because then it's dark and you can see. But otherwise, yeah, the rainforest is beautiful. It's a great, really cool experience for sure. Ponce, thank you. Mom coming in clutch. Ponce is the town in southern Puerto Rico that, if you get a chance to go down there, it's a nice little stop. We went over to Aguadilla and Mayagüez and toured, and then drove back via Ponce and came up over the mountains. There's good highways throughout the island, so if you're driving, San Juan is like any larger city. It can get congested, but even during rush hour, if you're patient or if you're not in a hurry to go anywhere, it's not a big deal. I didn't have any problems, at least. But people will drive and kind of make space and cut you off. They're usually pretty polite, like they'll, not just cut you off dangerously, but it is a different way of driving if you're used to the United States a little bit. But I didn't have a problem. if you've driven in any large city, you'll be just fine. And then we came back up over the mountains, and it's just breathtaking. It's amazing. So many different types of scenery, I guess. It is in one place. I am looking forward to going back for sure. La Fortaleza was completed in 1540, but not used as a governor's mansion until the mid-1800s. Interesting. Okay. That is interesting. We learn more every day. See, you come for the painting and you get the history lesson. Okay, as we go down this painting, now I'm intentionally desaturating I'm adding some greens into here, or some, not green, but I'm adding yellow so it makes a greenish color. And I am desaturating the color intentionally so that we get some more kind of translucent colors. I'm just mixing some of this goldish white in so that there's just kind of cohesion. Oh, you can't really see. Sorry about that. There's the blue. So I'm mixing this dark blue to lighter, and I'm just mixing in some of these previously mixed colors. That way there'll be more cohesion in the painting as we go. And I'm trying to, as we go, also smooth out some of these lines so it's not so harsh. Because I want, as much as possible, kind of a gradient. Because as we get closer to the, which you can see in the reference, as we get closer to the horizon, we get lighter and lighter. That's because we're looking through much more atmosphere when we get that low. So we're looking through atmosphere. And that's why we can also use some of this lighter blue color to allude to other types of clouds, like low-hanging clouds. There. And that makes our sky even more potent. Okay, now we're gonna come over here. This got a little turquoisey last layer. So we wanna kind of tone that out a little bit. And in all of this, again, I am super mindful of the shape of this building, carving out. There. Now, I think I can do now I'm going to take some gray, real gray, mix it in here. We'll lighten it up, but we're taking almost all the blue out. It's kind of a, I added brown and that gives us this kind of purple gray. But let's do that and then we should be able to do some. No, that's not going to work. That's still reddish. Ooh, that's not good. I don't like that. I hope I just didn't ruin this layer. I mean, I won't ruin the layer, but I'll just see. I haven't quite figured out how to make the bright, vibrant or that illusion of like bright, vibrant color. So I'm just testing something, kind of tinting this, pushing that chroma a little bit into this really kind of orangey color will help. It looks almost mustard on my, but on the camera I think it's looking better. I don't know, maybe not. We'll see. Also in the morning light it might look really mustardy. It's got a lot of yellow in it. What I really need is a little, I'm using alizarin crimson, but I really need like maybe a cad red. I don't know. Let me try it. I don't use these intense colors a lot on my paintings, but maybe I should explore more. That cad red is so strong. Oh, maybe that's the way to go. Ooh. Yeah, it is really strong, huh? I think I ruined my clouds. Y'all. Do I have a favorite brand of oil paint? I'm using Winsor Newton just by default. I haven't explored a variety of different ones, so that's something I've heard. Blue Ridge mentioned by different artists, so I might try that and just see. Looking good. So special when you've been there. I agree, Bob. I agree. And that's what I'm trying to capture, is that feeling, but it's eluding me. So yeah, Catherine, I'm open. If you have a brand you use, if you're an artist, would love thoughts. This has just turned into an orange blob, but I think it might come to a place where we can appreciate it in a minute. If not, we'll learn. Because I do want that feeling of, because the images don't really capture it. Like when you were there, it was just like, we came around the corner, it was like it was just glowing. And that's what I want the feeling of. So maybe I can. Okay, now that we have this base, now I wonder if we can come in with some or Michael Hardings. I don't know if I've heard of him. Michael Harding paints for glazes. I will have to check it out. I feel so like such a novice with oils because I just started transitioning from, not just started, but I transitioned from from acrylic to oil this last year. And it's been a steep learning curve for sure. Trying to there, not there. Yes, I I assumed what you meant, Bob G. Yes, there. THERE. When you've been there, this is true. It does make a difference. Actually, this orange, pushing this orange more than the oh, I bet that is a transition. I learned with acrylics, so I learned to paint really fast and because I was obviously when I first started making a lot of mistakes and trying things, it was nice because I could just let it dry and paint over. And I got really used to that method of, oh, I can just make a mistake, let me just paint over. And of course with oils, you can't. When you make a mistake, you have to kind of address it a different way, and you have to blend a different way and all those things. And so, yeah, it's a different medium for sure. A wet palette, meaning you wet the palette, or I'm not familiar with that term. Definitely spray your paints down to keep them as wet as possible. I also used a slow dry medium when I first started because I wasn't fast enough, and then I got where I could handle regular, but yeah. Catherine, I'm going to have to hunt down are you on Instagram or something? I'll look on your YouTube, but when I get off this live stream, I really would love to see your art. I'm still in the process of just trying to, I feel like, just learn the fundamentals. It is a sponge, a special paper that keeps your paint so it'll usable palette for about a week. Means I can do all the color mixing. Oh, with acrylic? That's impressive. Keep it wet for a week. My goodness. Ooh, cool. I will find you. I am debating leaving Facebook and Instagram, but it's so difficult when you're a connect with artists, because Instagram's about all there is. That everybody, or almost everybody, uses to some extent or another. Okay, these oranges I am really liking, and I think we're gonna keep them because against that blue, it's like the color, from a color theory standpoint, this is really nice. Ooh, I am at the end of my time, but I'm going to keep painting for a while. So y'all, usually I end at 8 p.m. Central, top of the hour, but I really am wanting to do some more. So y'all are welcome to stay or not, but I was hoping to get, I didn't think the clouds would be the hardest part, but I've really changed them up though, but I think they worked well. Yeah, if I get the right blue and peach, I think it works really well. I'm just trying to figure out how to get the effect I want, really, is what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if these Hey, thanks so much, neighbor. I appreciate you popping in. I am just trying to figure it out. This part especially is a mess, but we'll figure it out. By doing this darker orange, it really gives us a place to go with the makes everything else stand out. So trying to figure out how to use it the best. wonder if, let's go back to that. This may be too dark, but we'll see. Taking it more purple down low. Purple meaning this kind of almost dark gray. Because I think if we take the purple and grays up into here, it may even help us our I think those purples and grays help our helps the orange to stand out more, I think. Because that's what I really want, is I want the eyes drawn right here, because she's pointing this way, this is here, and I want this to lift your eye up, but I want it really grounded, like it is in the reference photo, really grounded in kind of this purple. And all these layers of shapes and colors will give us a really cool, in the end when I get it right, will give us a really cool, realistic, or not realistic, but yeah, I guess three-dimensional feel to these clouds. Notice this purple's kind of, it's the shadow these clouds. Kind of the underside. Now I'm not hating these clouds as much. If I can get, honestly, if I can get this somewhat decent tonight, then I can, this would make me happy. If I can get this looking decent. Because then all I have is her. And I don't know what to do with her. She's a mess, but it's the first time I've painted a statue of that kind of finish, and tried to, so I'm still trying to figure out how to make it look right. I think I'm going to take this light spot out here so that it's similar to this. And I think I'm going to, make all of this really shadowy so that there's hints of brightness up here, but then we're just gonna have, I think we'll just do like one main pop of color. But this works, the purple underneath with the orange, and then I think if we keep the orange fairly dark, I think what I'm learning is if you want dynamic clouds, don't desaturate your colors too much. have the purple, that kind of peach color. Now, take it more orange. I'll just bring in some more yellow. See if that works. I don't know if it will. I need like that yellow is a real bitter yellow. It creates kind of this muddy orange though. And I don't like that mustard orange. Don't like it. I like the peach more, and I think that's, I don't want to take the white but you almost have to. But I don't want to, again, desaturate too much. If anybody has any ideas how to do this better, please see, this is diffusing this though now. We don't get those sharp contrasts as much. So I'm not sure. I'll have to give this some thought. You know what I need to do is go look at some Mark Maggiore paintings, because he's the Cloud King. And that's what, not necessarily that effect, because he super saturates, but I want that feeling. So I'll have to, what I should do is take a picture of this and put it in my iPad, and then play around with different colors, and because then I could remove the saturation really, or change things pretty quickly if it didn't look right. I really do think it's this dark. It feels terrible to put this dark purple up there, but I think that's really it. think that's what makes it. Clouds have always been a challenge for me since I started, but I'm much better than I was. And I know it's just a matter of time. Like, once I really learn it, I just need to spend more time really studying clouds and how to, not only just clouds, but how to represent them on the two-dimensional plane. Okay, now I'm seeing something I like, which is the shape. Now what I want to do, see if I can bring in some deep burgundies to what I'm trying to do now is just build up the volume of these clouds. By doing the burgundy, it keeps kind of that. And I'm not putting any white, I'm putting red into the burgundy instead. Quote unquote brighten it. But hey there, Leaf. So glad to have you. Welcome, welcome. Sure thing. I am painting in oil right now. Not anything special, just Winsor Newton oils. And I'm trying to find the key to really dynamic clouds. So that is what's happening right now. You are most welcome. I appreciate you pausing in your day to say hello. Check out my live stream. Okay guys, so I have pretty dark purple and orange here. It feels somehow too dark, but I'm not sure. I don't know if this adds to the church or distracts. Does it actually draw our eyes away from the church, or does it draw you into the church? I guess that's the question, isn't it? I'm going to step back in just a minute and see what I can find out by stepping away. Okay, I'm going to step away. I've been overpainting this for a while now. Ugh. I am not happy with that. So I think I'm going to leave it for now. And let it sit overnight and then make some more decisions in the morning perhaps, or at another sitting. Except I want to see if just a super, like what does a super unsaturated bright color do to the edge of this? Nope, it just starts to, doesn't it? Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to come back in another sitting and do that work. Otherwise it just desaturates it and turns it into that again, and these vibrant contrasts are gone. So eventually I'll get where I know how to create that effect without doing half a dozen layers. But for now, I have gone almost 40 minutes over when I usually do. So I am going to turn you back to this camera and get this set up so I could say a proper good night to you all. I'm appreciative of those of you who popped in later and those of you who stayed the whole time. I am grateful. Thank you so much for your willingness to hang out with me. I really enjoyed it. Oh, for those of you still here, I promised that I would show you what I did this week. So let me grab these paintings. I think they're mostly dry, I hope, so I don't mess them up. But these are all from Puerto Rico as well. So I just finished this one, which is the entrance by to the beach by my cousin's house. Sorry, it's kind of dim. I have really bad lighting up over my put that back out. And then this one you may have seen a couple times. This is what's called the garita, these sentry boxes on the side of the old city walls in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. Really pleased with how that one turned out. And then I did another one, some plantains in a little shop, little restaurant I stopped at. They were just sitting there with the machete, and that was a fun little painting to do. And then, the final one was the Toledo Federal Building in Old San Juan. These clouds turned out nice. And so I want to see what the lessons are from this, because I liked how this turned out. I think it portrays the, I don't know if I can, there's too much glare on there, but it portrays the night, the moon shining off the clouds really well, I think. So that's pretty good. So that's what I have been working on. There are still, like I said, about 6 or 7 paintings here that I want to finish up. And then there's a bunch lying in front of me as well that are old acrylic paintings that are in various states of completion. So anyway, that said, I want to say thank you so much for joining me this evening. Oh, you know what? I'm losing my head, y'all. Losing my mind. I showed you all those paintings and you were looking at them from the side. So let's try that again. On the off chance that anybody's actually still watching. This is the entrance to the beach at my cousin's. There we go. And this is La Garita along the walls of Old San Juan. This one I was really pretty happy with how it turned out. And the plantains at the restaurant. Oh, makes me want the fried plantains, tostones. And the Toledo Federal Building in Old San Juan. And there you can see the moonlit clouds that really turned out well, in my opinion. I enjoyed them. So gonna have to see what the lessons are for that from that painting for this one. This one then we have, this is where we are tonight. I have to celebrate though. The church is done. The trees I'm happy with. And now I just have to get the clouds in a state that I like, that I feel represents the time and the moment, and then the statue I want to work a little bit on, but not sure what she needs done. So thanks again so much for joining me. I meet you every Monday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time here, wherever you watch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, I think still. But I may be deactivating my Facebook account. So not maybe, probably I'm in the process of downloading all my data and photos and everything. So if you want to stay connected, please make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. That is where I will post my live stream. It is posted permanently going forward, so you can get notifications there when I go live if you enjoy hanging out with me in the studio. I think those are all the announcements. Thanks so much. Hope you have had a great start to your new year and that this week treats you well. I will see you next week, everybody. Have a great evening. Good night.